Hey guys, and welcome back to MOTO Capers. Well, once again, it's winter here in Australia, and the weather, although it doesn't look that bad outside, is pretty bloody horrendous. It's been raining for a while. Sorry I haven't made a video for quite a while. I've been a little bit busy, and as I said before, the weather has been quite rubbish. So as you can see, it's time to do some more upgrades on the Super Meteor 650. So what am I going to do today? Well, you probably would have guessed by the title of the video that I'm going to install a hidden USB mount on the handlebars, and it's an original OEM part, original Royal Enfield part. But it's actually for the Meteor 350. So what I've been running is a USB hook straight into the USB port on the side of the bike, and I've run that up to the handlebars because what I do is charge my mount there for the quad lock quick charger. Unfortunately though, that USB port down the side of the bike there is not a fast charge port, so I can only charge at a trickle, which is a real pain in the backside. So what I've done is I've found a USB charger from the Meteor 350 that can fit up underneath the handlebars here. As I said, it's an original part. It'll plumb down the back, and then it'll be hooked in through the back of the headlight. So I'll have to pull that apart, run the wires down through, and try and find a blanking plug down the back. So the parts that you will need, obviously you'll need the USB plug itself. As I said, this is a Royal Enfield OEM part. It's got our hidden sealed USB plug in there, and then that is our umbilical where it'll hook into the battery. There's the packet it came in and the part number. So the part number for this is, as you can see there, RAC 00053-F. Right, so let's see if this works. Original part, made in India. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is remove the two Allen head screws, one here and one on the other side, that'll release the actual headlight from the unit. Alright, that's one. Don't forget to keep these nice and handy, you don't want to lose them. Right, so at this point the headlight should come out quite easily, and hopefully there's not too much spaghetti behind it. Oh. Right, so that's our headlight released. Got to push down on this here. Right, that's our plug removed and our headlight removed from the bike. Awesome, beautiful headlight this, I really do love it. Alright guys, so the next thing we need to do, you'll see there's one Allen key screw in here. And I'm going to use a 3mm Allen key to remove that screw. Now that should remove this plastic cowling, and hopefully let me see the spaghetti junction behind. Alright, so here we go. Where should we go? Alright, and that is what I thought I'd see. Lots and lots of loose wires. But if you see in there, we actually have a spare connection, which is this one here, red and yellow. Alright, tucked in behind there. So if I'm right, that clip and our new attachment should fit straight on. Okay. Alright guys, so let's see how we go. We've just inserted the key into the bike and turned the ignition on. I've got our new OEM USB charger that I'll mount to the handlebar plugged into the spare fitting behind the headlight. It comes down to its transformer and then down to the actual unit that I'll mount on the headlight itself. I've now plugged a USB cable into it, and the moment of truth, let's plug it into the phone and see if it gets power. And it does. Alright, and I'm very happy to say that it is a fast charger capable as well. So where I just plugged this onto the other USB port on the bike, it said it would be 41 minutes to full. I've plugged into this, it says 26. So yep, we do have fast charger capability from this USB charger. So awesome result so far. Alright guys, so we had our USB charger hooked up to that spare fitting in the headlight. Now it's time to undo that, and we're going to have to feed it in down through the back. So I'll try and get in behind the screen and feed it through a hole in the back and reconnect it, and then we'll look at running the wire over to the handlebars and actually fitting this little block up underneath the clutch assembly, so we're good to go. Alright, so let's get stuck into that. Alright, so this is where it could get a little bit tricky, so I'm going to try and feed this through a hole down the back, follow these cables down, right, that's it. So we now have that light running, or that cable running through the back, and we can hook that up to our umbilical. Again, so just a line and clip it in place. Alright, good. Now it's a matter of running this up to the cluster and fixing it on underneath the clutch assembly. To get this block on, you'd think that it would go on that way. It doesn't. It's got to come around and go on that way with the cable bent back on itself, and you'll see there's a screw hole there where I pulled a small screw out of, and you'll need to get another screw for here. So the screw that I've found that fits it is an M3 8.8 millimeter screw. It does not come with the pack, so you really need to get that previously, or do what I've done and just had a mad dash to the auto parts store to try and find one. So yeah, it gets mounted on there on those points, and we'll go that far. Right, and then I'll get that other screw in to this part here and lock it off, and we'll see how we go. Righto guys, so just like that, we've fitted our USB block up underneath the clutch housing. You can see there's the existing screw that we had. I've moved it from this part here across to here, and I've inserted a new M3 8.8mm. It's actually M3 10mm screw into this portion here, and that's secured nicely. So the next thing we need to do is try and route these cables so we have a nice clean setup, and we'll have our USB hidden plug on our handlebars. So I think what I'll do is I'll use these existing rubber straps that we have on the handlebars to route these cables through, and I'll work out a way when I mount that little transformer block to make sure it's not going to be affected by the water. Alright, so let's go that far. So what I'm going to do is use these existing rubber closures that I have, loop that around so it's nice and neat, and then link that up with the existing cables so that it's all nice and neat. And there you see we have that. So it's a process now of just continuing that down along these lines and mounting our block. Then we'll need to obviously put the headlight back together. Alright guys, so there we go. We've now got our USB block fitted underneath the clutch assembly. It looks really good under there, it's very secure. I've then tracked this cable around using the existing rubbers down to follow the old cables into the back of the headlight. And I don't know if you can see there or not, but on here to fix the transformer, I've turned it upside down to let the water run off and not run down into the block, and I've fixed it into place behind the screen with a black cable tie, which should hold it nice and secure. The rest of the cable then comes down and around and into the back here where it's plugged into our spare umbilical to get to the point now where we fit the headlight back in. Alright guys, so it's a matter of fitting this back in so that everything is nice and neat, making sure that the headlight doesn't deform, and then getting this Allen screw back in place. So it's actually a little bit more difficult than it looks. Alright guys, so now it's just a matter of getting everything back in place, making sure the headlight doesn't deform, and then once it's in place, nipping up our 3mm Allen screw. Right, and I think that's looking okay, although we'll see how we go. Alright, so that's nipped up. Nice and tight. So that's nipped up nice and tight. It's now time to get our headlight back in place. So we line it up. Clip the light on. And then push it in. Alright, so the last thing we need to do now guys is the 2 screws on each side. Alright, so now the 2 screws on each side of the housing. One in, not overly tight. We'll get the other end. Alright, so that's nice and tight. And nice and tight. That's our headlight back in. So we now have our hidden USB fitted. It's going to give us the ability to do fast charge, which is fantastic. And everything's nice and neatly hidden behind our headlight. Job well done. Now let's just check and make sure the headlight works. Oh yeah, look at that. Indicators. Nice, success. So I think it looks great. You can't really see much. I mean, there's the old cable hanging down there. I'm going to gather that up with a cable tie. And then I've got a spare hookup. And I've got our new cable running into the back of the charger here. So yeah, it looks really good. From the other side of the bike, you can hardly even notice that it's there. So there it is under there, really unobtrusive. Yeah, great result, really happy. So hopefully that continues to go really well. Here's a quick look at my bike while we're on it. Beautiful, this bike, absolutely love everything about it. And I've got the shad panniers on, so if you're interested in shad panniers, I got those online. There's a link in the description for an affiliate link down below, but they're fantastic. They give you a whole heap of storage on the bike, and I've got a video in my playlist showing the install if you're interested. So if you could, guys, please, if you've enjoyed the video, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and consider subscribing for more vids in the future. And yeah, let's see if we can't grow the channel. A little bit of a bits and pieces video today, not the flashiest, but hopefully it'll show you how to do it if you're keen to do the same thing yourself. Alright guys, have a great day, ride safe,